I'm Keith Baker, creator of Eberron, and you're listening to Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG talk.
This week, Morrus, PJ, and Jessica catch up with all the tabletop RPG news for the week, including D&D Legos and Converse, the end of Baldur's Gate, Kobold Press on D&D Beyond, and more, plus a brand new sketch about deciphering monster classifications. This week on Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG talk.
For some reason, Gentry's Marvelous Exotic Zoo has seen fit to sponsor this podcast. Gentry Zoo claims to have the most dangerous collection of dinosaurs, aberrations, oozes, demons, devils, vermin, monsters, magical creatures, animated constructs, automatons, elementals, and Cthulhus. Enter at your own risk. The estimated survival chance is approximately 50%, and that sounds very reasonable to me. Maybe I can pick up a new familiar.
All the tabletop role-playing news, we aim to amuse and we aim to enthuse. And Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG talk.
Aye up, and welcome to Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG talk. I am Russ, aka Morrus, or Morrus, aka Russ. And with me this week is...
I'm PJ Coffey from Southampton Guild of Roleplayers. It's terrible to hear this sort of thing going on. Anyway, we've got with us, the D&amp publishing staff, I suppose, which is okay, if you like that sort of thing. It's the one, it's the only, it's, what's her face,
It's me, Jessica from D&amp Publishing. I will not be attempting a Yorkshire accent in the same way that Russ and PJ did, because I think anyone up north that hears my accent instantly has a dislike and distrust of me, which is fair enough, and I don't want to give them more reasons to dislike me.
I thought they all called you Petal and Tulip and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, people were nice to me. Yeah. Everyone was like, people walk around. They just so for context, we went to Aircon.
Yeah, so people are
last
listening
week.
to this thinking, what are they talking about?
So last week we didn't record the podcast because we were at a convention. The three of us were at Aircon running games.
We made many important discoveries,
which is in Yorkshire, which is up in Harrogate, or Harrogate, as it is correctly pronounced, up in Yorkshire.
Mm-hmm.
We discovered that Russ is not fit for human company before, like, maybe 11.
I don't understand how this is news to you.
That's not a new discovery for me. I have long known.
I've never had occasion to deal with Russ before this episode.
You've been on many conventions with me.
I normally don't schedule you, Russ, to do anything in the mornings, though.
That's true. Well, I'm happy to run games first thing in the morning and last night and during the day.
Yeah, you are one of those chirpy morning people which hurt my head.
No, it's just like my enthusiasm for running games overcomes my natural desire to be in bed.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
The massive amounts of coffee also helped.
So we're up north in Yorkshire at Aircon last week, and we'll probably talk a little bit about that a bit later. But that is the reason for the comedy accents that we attempted during the intro and failed miserably at. And probably the Americans are there going, they just sounded normal to me. I don't know what you're talking about. But I assure you, we were putting on Yorkshire. Well, we weren't putting on Yorkshire accents.
I just want to be clear. Before the whole of the north of England cancels me, I wasn't involved in this.
But anyway, we went to Aircon, which is a growing convention up in Yorkshire, and it was fun. And we were mainly demoing games rather than, like, usually we have a stand in an exhibit hall and we're trying to flog books. But here we were demoing games.
Yeah.
And that was our primary reason for being there. So, we sponsored the RPG zone there. We demoed Level Up, we demoed What Sword Is New, and we demoed Split the Horde, which is our card game coming later this year. Lots and lots of demos, lots and lots of people played our games. Everyone said I was the best one, not just out of us, but out of the entire convention and probably out of every human being who has ever lived.
For journalistic integrity, we don't have any quotes or sources or references to verify what Russ just said.
Yeah, well, nothing.
Moving
the
on.
was really nice. I mean, I don't think there was anyone that I particularly didn't think wasn't really quite friendly to be there. It was really lovely atmosphere, lot of tables to play games on. A lot of tables.
Lots of open gaming space, which is nice.
I hear it's really developed over the past couple of years, and it's like a real feather in the cap is the way to describe it, I think, for Harrogate. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Good job.
I think
Good job
it's one of those.
organisers.
Some conventions you go to that are really buying conventions. Like if you go to Essen in Germany, you're there to buy stuff and see things. But I think Aircon's one of those conventions you go to sit and play games. There's loads of open gaming space, and there is exhibit halls, so you go to buy stuff, obviously, and things like that. But it's really a convention which is designed to you're going to go and play some games.
Yeah,
so,
vending
which is
library
really
as
nice.
well. And I don't know, did you see the little lightsabers that they had on the sides of some of the tables?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little signal to say, hey, we need someone to come over and teach us how to play this game, or that wants to play with us.
So it does.
Oh, that's quite cool.
It does feel like a convention you could go by yourself and find yourself in games. Like obviously for RPGs that's easy because you book online and come play a game with us. But like I think there's also lots of ways for you to play board games as well. So I think it is a convention that you could go to by yourself and find games to play with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So maybe we'll be back there next year, or
Maybe.
we will. We'll see.
We're going to have a chat about that.
Yeah. We've got some actual RPG news. We've got 2 weeks
Well,
of RPG news
yes,
to
we
talk
do.
about because we weren't here last week. So let's get on with that and do the news.
What happened last week, Russ?
What happened last week
Yeah.
in the news?
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, the week we missed was a really quiet week.
I know, it was quite handy.
I have some bits and pieces that might be relevant.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Well,
instance.
from last week, or
Well, yeah, I mean, like, then I don't know how hugely relevant they are to, like, the Anglophone audience, but on the other hand, I thought they were really quite interesting for the industry in general.
Okay.
For instance, there's Gamesparked.de, and they have moved to English language coverage of gaming in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria.
Oh,
I'll put a
wow.
little link in the show notes.
they were, was that a news site?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so they're a German game site and they're moving to do English language stuff now as well.
Yeah. They've got
Nice.
German top-level domain, and they do Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. So, yeah, that's... How much RPG stuff is coming out of that? I don't know, but
But they're reporting in English as well, or instead of?
they're saying that they're transitioning their reporting to English, is what they've said, to offer a seamless experience for their international audience. So they've got archives, which I believe are in German. I don't read German, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. It looks like German to me, but it might be Austrian, might be Swiss German. Cannot tell you. But they've got a commitment to delivering timely and relevant content in English. So, yeah, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
think
like
it's
that
pretty
for
cool.
me because I speak English and my German is very patchy. As I discover every time I go to Germany and try and do anything, I'm like, oh, it's worse than I thought. My German.
Nein Sprachen Sie Deutsch is about what I got, yeah. So.
Yeah. I think that's a bit of a shame for the German market though, because if I was German, I'd probably want to. And I know a
Read
lot
it
of
in German,
of German people do speak English as well, but like I don't know. I think it's nice sometimes to have things in your own language. Yeah, I don't know, but I guess I'm not German, so I can't speak to that. But
Well, I do know that language tuition is heaps better, and there's also like a cultural acceptance of learning other languages. So I know that there's a lot of German speakers who speak very, very good English. There's a lot less than some English speakers.
absolutely, absolutely. It's not a word on the competency.
Russ, there's
but
no need to pull that face. That wasn't directed at you. Goodness.
Anyway, I got some bad news.
Oh, no.
Sad news.
Oh, sad
Oh,
news.
yeah.
Sad
It is
news.
bad,
So Jim Ward passed away this week at the age of 72.
Oof.
So
Very young.
Jim Ward was one of the first players in Gary Gygax's early D&D games back in the 70s. His character, Drawmage, which is Jim Ward spelt backwards, features in the names of various spells and magic items in the rule books. Is baked into the D&D system and has been for 50 years. Jim worked for TSR, the original TSR, not the new horrible TSR, back in. It's really bad that you have to say that every time now, though.
But yeah, you don't want to associate somebody with that.
Moving on.
Wrote Metamorphosis Alpha, one of the earliest sci-fi games ever written, co-writer of Deities and Demigods, author of Greyhawk Adventures, and worked at TSR until the mid-90s.
Wow.
And ended up leaving because of, I believe, a sort of ethical disagreement on how they handled some kind of publishing issue. Although I can't offhand recall exactly what that was. And since then, worked for various other companies as a freelancer, co-founded Fast Forward Entertainment in the early 2000s. So Jim Ward's been around for, a big, an industry veteran for, 50 years in this industry. And I've had the pleasure of interacting with him a few times. He wrote a column for EN World, where there's like a dozen articles or so, talking about the history of TSR and his history and various things like that. So, it's sad news.
Yeah.
But Jim Ward is no longer with us.
Yeah, thoughts with family and friends,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who else is no longer with us? Or what else is no longer with us? Or will be no longer with us? Well, not so no longer with us, but no longer continue to be made more of.
Oh, you're talking about Baldur's Gate?
Yes.
What a segue.
I was trying to work out how to segue that. And,
it's a hard transition, and I appreciate your attempt. Thank
Valiant attempts made,
Yeah, but I'm happy to talk about Baldur's Gate, as I always am. So everyone knows, love Baldur's Gate 3. What a time. I've referenced it twice in 2 separate pre-recordings of Not D&D, so if you're watching April episodes, look out for those. But yeah, so pretty much Larian Studios, who made Baldur's Gate 3 and worked with Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, who obviously own the IP, announced that they confirmed that they will not be making a Baldur's Gate 4. They're not going to be making DLC or expansions or anything like that. So the way they phrased it in their statement was because they're like, yeah, we love it, we're really proud of it, but we feel like we've done this and we want to move on and do kind of other projects. Is very much their public statement.
Very professional take on it.
Yes. Behind the scenes, this is pure speculation. No one comes
Wild
to me.
speculation.
A lot of the team that worked with Larian Studios and liaised with them to create the game as, subject matter experts on the rules, the lore, everything like that, were laid off by Hasbro, as we've been covering in the past few years, that there's been all the layoffs happening. As what's it called?
I have seen 100%.
What did Hasbro call it as the strategy for it? Operation Excellence?
Operation Excellence, yeah.
Yes. So, yes. I think all of them, if not the vast majority, but I think no longer work at Wizards of the Coast, and it makes me think that perhaps Larian are uncomfortable with this. Again, speculation on my part. There's been no public statement, but I'd imagine that a lot of the people they worked with to create this are no longer there, so maybe they're looking at the terms and what that would mean, making another game working with Hasbro.
So they said a couple of other things.
Oh, yeah?
So this was Sven Vick, who's the CEO.
Yes.
And this was at the Game Developers Conference, where a few things were said. Yeah, so he said that basically they started working on some DLC and then cancelled it.
Right.
And he said you could see the team was doing it because everyone felt like we had to do it, but it wasn't really coming from the heart.
Okay.
And we're very much a studio from the heart. It's what gotten us into misery, and it's also been the reasons for our success. So, he's basically saying that they were working on some DLC, but, they weren't into it, if you know what I mean. They
weren't feeling it. They weren't having a good time. They're like, let's not.
Yeah.
But he also went on to say that when...
Which I have to say, by the way, is quite a thing for a games company to say.
Yeah.
You've just fresh off the back of Game of the Year.
Yeah.
You're making all of the money, or maybe not all of the money, but you're making so much money that you're wildly successful.
Yeah.
Well, there's another half to this statement.
Ooh.
According to Vic, when the Baldur's Gate 3 team at Larian were told that they're not going to be making any more Baldur's Gate content, he said they were elated. He said, I thought they were going to be angry with me because I just couldn't muster the energy. I saw so many elated faces, which I didn't expect. And I could tell they shared the same feelings. So we were all aligned with each other. And I've had so many developers come to me after and say, thank God.
Wow.
So it does not look like they were having a good time
With the
over
DLC.
there making Baldur's Gate 3.
I mean, Larian designers elated not to be working on D&D product. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, very separately, there was a strongly worded statement from Vic on a separate topic, which I think may be related because he was talking about the greed of publishers and layoffs.
Yes.
Now, there were no names mentioned in this
of
whatsoever.
course, because he's a professional.
Yeah. But I think we can all make a guess and think that Hasbro is being obliquely referred to there. I mean, maybe not. Who knows?
Look, that's wild speculation.
Yeah,
That's
it's not wild speculation. It's fairly informed speculation.
But what did he say?
I mean, look, we can't possibly put two together because this is still a news program rather than editorializing wildly. Much so I might run my mouth like a motorboat.
Yes.
I speculate it is linked.
Yes, I speculate that also. But
okay.
Shocking.
But I agree that we don't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you what was said. Though.
Yeah, please do.
So this was this was again at the Game Developers Conference, and he was talking about recent mass layoffs within the video games industry at an industry award show, which was. Blaming the job losses on corporate greed that had been fucking this whole thing up for so long.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong.
Exact words.
Video game developers, that's a very popular opinion. They're like, get ready for the next couple of years of video games being a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
Because no one's got any job security, no one's very happy.
Yeah.
There's just so many jobs been lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there'll be people, there'll be brain drain.
He said this while collecting an award, the Best Narrative Award for Baldur's Gate 3. He said, I've been fighting publishers my entire life, and I keep seeing the same mistakes over and over and over. It's always the quarterly profits. The only thing that matters are the numbers, and then you fire everybody, and then next year you say, shit, I'm out of developers. Then you start hiring people again, and then you do acquisitions, then you put them in the same loop again, and it's just broken. That's what he said.
Yeah. I think... RPG industry might be able to relate to that as well.
Industry veteran correctly identifies systematic problems within the games industry.
Yeah.
Whether this could apply to elsewhere is beyond our remit as a tabletop RPG news podcast to speculate about.
No, we can speculate. We just can't report it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
people have come here to listen to the news and stuff rather than us looking at things that are, I suppose actually this is technically news, but not for our speculations based on, well, I mean, gosh, all these lines are going in a straight line now. I wonder what that could mean. Who can say?
No, but talking about Baldur's Gate 3, I mean, as everyone knows, I think it's a fantastic game. There is so much content there.
I think you like it.
I love it. No, I don't like it. I love this game. I think it's a really good game. I think they've done a really good job, and I think it stands on its own. Obviously, I would have loved a Baldur's Gate 4 because more of this, yes, please. But
it doesn't mean there won't be a Baldur's Gate 4. It just means that Larian won't be making it.
Yes, that is correct for us. And I think if I was a game developer and I was approached to make Baldur's Gate 4 following Baldur's Gate 3 from Larian Studios, I think I would be...
Nice chalice you've got there.
Even if
it's not poisoned?
Yes. Even if you make a really good game, everyone's going to compare it to what they did.
Oh, yeah.
And the game itself was really good, but also the way Larian...
The brand is so good now, though. It'd be a hard offer to turn down, I think, because...
It would, but then does that end up with somebody who's in on that corporate greed situation?
Who knows?
I don't know. I would be...
It's like if someone was famous for dating a really amazing, well-renowned icon of beauty as a celebrity, and then you're next. And people are going to make unkind comments.
Yeah.
No matter how well you get on, no matter how much better suited you are.
Yeah.
Assuming that was even true.
Yeah. So... but separately, unrelated to D&D, I'm excited to see what Larian Studios does next to their game. I understand it won't be a D&D related thing, but, this game has made me a fan of what they do, and look at other stuff they make. So
You 100% should look at Divinity Original Sin 2. Absolute blind of a game.
I may have already. But yeah, I actually haven't got time to play much more than Baldur's Gate 3. With also running games and doing stuff like tabletop games. But it is on my list of games to play because I know at some point my hyperfixation will go from Baldur's Gate. I thought it happened earlier this month, but then no, it didn't. I was saying this to my partner whilst we were in our office because we play music, and he pointed out that we were currently listening to the soundtrack of Baldur's Gate 3 whilst I was saying this, and he was like, Jess, we're currently listening to the Harpy song, and I was like, oh yeah.
Just when I thought I got out, they let me back in.
I'm back in the fucking room again. Anyway, but yeah.
Quite a lot of D&D news to impart.
Tell me.
lots of D&D news. So first of all, let's talk...
Well, if we're going to talk D&D news, I'm going to exercise my interrupting cow privilege.
It's not like you, Peter.
I know, right? It isn't actually, but, on March 8th, a world first occurred, which was Wormworks Studios brought out an accessible Braille SRD for 5th edition.
Oh, wow, that's so cool.
Thank you.
Where can people find more? How get?
Wormworks Publishing said, let's make an accessible Braille version of the 5e SRD.
Oh, that's so
I think
cool.
That's really good. Yeah.
How much does it cost?
Free.
How does that... Oh, okay. But is it a physical object if it's Braille?
It's print friendly.
I'll admit, I'm not an expert on the subject, but my understanding was Braille had to be done by touch, so it has to be a physical object. So
I'm afraid I'm going to have to go wall at this point.
Yeah.
Because
you can download it on DriveThruRPG, so I assume there's printers that print in Braille. So you
there's definitely
do the file and then...
we've got the...
Fair enough. I didn't realise that existed. Okay, that's very cool.
Yeah, we've got dynamic Braille readers and embossers, and it's editable in, quote, Braille Blaster for further customization.
Okay.
Yeah. It's part of the CC Creative Commons license.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at it thinking, okay, I mean, I do not... In the Many Worlds universe, right, there was probably a universe where I have sufficient time and brain power to learn another software package.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Perhaps it's this one. Because I'm very excited by accessibility, as you know, because I think gaming should be everyone. And I don't say everyone and then say, except for these people over here. No.
Yeah.
Let's make gaming for everyone.
I'm looking on the DriveThruRPG page as well, and they said there is some software that you can convert your game and supplements in minutes using their free software.
Yes.
So that is actually very cool as well. So maybe something for us to look into as well.
I know, that's why I thought it deserved a bit of a headline, because it's...
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've been sitting on this for ages. Well, I haven't been sitting on it for ages. I've shouted it out, but, hopefully people will listen to this and say, what, is it really easy to do? Yes, apparently so.
Oh, I wonder if it's easy to do with with the software to convert it. I wonder if that's something we could do with the Level Up SRD as well.
No idea.
That would be very cool. Well, that's something I'm going to put on my to-do list to look into. On the tower of things I have to do, but I think this deserves to go on the list of things to look at. I think because this looks very cool.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
Anyway. I love that.
Thank you. Hey Russ, I'm sorry. I did it. I have put in my interruption, but now you may continue your casting assault.
Okay, so we have got lots of D&D news this week.
Yes,
and some of it is about US and Canada gamers being able to get D&D books 2 weeks earlier than the rest of the world from their local game stores now. So this is a new... It's actually something they had before, where they brought back, called the Local Game Store Early Access Program.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And local game stores in the US and Canada can sell D&D books 2 weeks before the rest of the world.
Nice.
Starting with Vecna Eve of Ruin. Mm-hmm. So if you're in the US and Canada, you can go to your local game store and get that on May 7th.
Mm-hmm.
The global release date's May the 21st. Mm-hmm. This is in-store purchases only, not online orders.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So if you're not in America or Canada, of course, you can't cheat and order it online and get it shipped to you early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's starting with Vecna Eve of Ruin, and early access sale dates, I won't list them all, but basically 2 weeks in advance for the next bunch of books, apart from the Making Original D&D 1970 to 77, which is that big old sort of... making up book that's coming out very soon. That is not part of the programme, but the actual game books are.
That's very cool.
And they've listed dates going up as far as Monster Manual 2025, which you'll be able to pick up on February the 4th, 2025.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this once. This is a reference to this news article that you've just covered. But good job, Hasbro.
Yeah, I think that's a nice initiative. As somebody, I used to own a bricks and mortar gaming space. It's a really hard thing to do, and any little support you can give is great. And I think that's really good.
Yeah, can't agree more.
Okay. Next bit of D&D news is about Quest from the Infinite Staircase.
Oh, it's on the Roll20.
Well,
Sorry,
some information about it is.
It's coming to Roll20.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
The list of adventures in it have been released. So it's we already knew it was going to be an anthology book which had 6 classic D&D adventures, but we didn't know which ones they were.
Yeah.
And now we do.
Nice.
Now we know. So they are Beyond the Crystal Cave, which is... These are all AD&D First Edition, apart from one of them, which is a basic D&D adventure.
Okay.
Predating that.
So we're going some proper old school.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got Beyond the Crystal Cave, which is... It's like an AD&D adventure. It's set in Greyhawk, and the PCs have to save a couple who fled into the Cave of Echoes.
Oh, okay.
Dun dun dun.
Then we've got Expedition to the Barrier Peaks, which is the one with the crashed spaceship. Again, Greyhawk.
I feel that we've had Expedition to Barrier Creeks, the Barrier Peaks, Barrier Creeks. That's a different game. I feel that's come up. Hasn't that been repeated quite recently?
Yes. So Goodman Games, you know, they do those classic adventures revisited or remastered or something, relaunched.
So they did,
and they give these big hardcovers, and they put the original version in and any alternate versions, and then they put a 5th edition version in, and you get a big hardcover of the whole thing. So they have done a hardcover of this adventure.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's the exact same. Well, it's going to be the same event. Yeah, their 5th edition conversion. I don't know if that's the one that's here, or whether Wizards have done their own one.
I shall look forward to seeing it.
Yeah,
Probably.
but that one, so
Maybe.
Expedition by Crash Spaceship, written by Gary Gygax, robots, laser guns, and stuff like that in it.
And just so many entry rooms. So many.
Then we got Pharaoh. Again, this was written by Weiss and Hickman of Dragonlance fame.
Oh, okay, yeah, nice.
The PC's exiled to a desert after being falsely accused of a crime, and they meet the spirit of a long-dead pharaoh who implores them to break into his thief-proof pyramid and steal some things that will help him find eternal rest, or something
But
like
how will they do that, Russ? It's thief-proof.
that. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're not thieves. Maybe they're like clerics and wizards and fighters, and
my.
therefore it is only proof against thieves. I don't know. I know nothing.
Okay.
Then there's the Lost Caverns of Tsojcanth, however you pronounce that word.
Yes, it is like that. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
Soju cantrip.
Another Gary Gygax one. Treasure hunters in Lost Caverns seeking the wealth of the Archmage Igwilv, and they find a vampire.
Oh.
Awkward.
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
Looking for it?
Yeah.
You're off on a quest and suddenly vampires.
Yeah. And we got The Lost City. This is the basic D&D adventure. Policies get lost in a sandstorm, discover a lost city.
A found city.
And they explore a pyramid and fight an evil monster.
Cool.
Jolly good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And finally, When a Star Falls, their star falls in the moors, and the PCs go and search for it, and there's Svirfneblin and Darrow and stuff.
Cool.
Svirfneblin being, for people who might not know, a sort of a deep gnome, like their
Deep gnomes, yes, deep gnomes and deep dwarves.
Down, yes.
Yeah. So yes, that is what is in the upcoming July, I think it's coming out.
Yeah.
Quest from the Infinite Staircase.
And I believe those adventures will be available on Roll20 as well, so people looking for online play, which is part of what I read as well. I have some other Dungeons and or Dragons news.
Go on.
So, you know that D&D Beyond has had third-party publishers on their site.
Okay.
They have also, Kobold Press is now on there with the Tome of Beasts, which is the book Kobold Press published in 2016. It's got like 400 monsters in. Did it get 1 million? I think it got 1 million on crowdfunding. It was one of those.
I have
or close
no.
to.
I don't think it did.
Not quite.
But
it was
because it was a long time ago. It was really early.
It was a really big crowdfund. It was really
Yeah.
popular. Lots of people really love it. It's got 400 monsters for D&D 5th edition.
I've got a copy. That's how big it is. Yeah.
Well, if you don't have a copy, you can pick it up on D&D Beyond for $39.99.
Yeah.
So yes, it's available on there. And it's interesting that they chose Kobold Press, because Kobold Press obviously doing
Or making
Project
the
Black,
competing
Tales of the
product,
Valiant.
the direct competitor and replacement product, Tales of the Valiant.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I was.
So I guess you can. We'll be looking forward to seeing Tales of the Valiant or something. Maybe it's just a way to persuade them not to try harder. I don't know. It's certainly interesting.
Yeah, I did kind of go, ooh, when I saw that. Because I would have thought, because, like you say, if they've got Tales of the Valiant will be a direct competitor replacement product. So I'm surprised that they worked with their 5e supplement stuff. But
yeah, well,
especially with the branding, because Kobold Press branding was very much like, yeah, Black Flag, go against Wizards of the Coast. And I don't know. It was interesting to see that collaboration. But
Yeah.
good for the players because that content with over 400 cool monsters is now available.
Whereabouts is Kobold Press based anyway?
Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're on Demiplane as well, so they're putting all their stuff on all of the different platforms.
Yeah.
That's nice of them.
Yeah.
Yes. And any news on Level Up on Demiplane?
No.
I see.
Other Dungeons and Dragons news. There is an official Lego set coming.
It's. I saw the price.
What's the price? I haven't actually looked at the price.
$360.
Wow.
Well,
I mean,
for that you do get 1 cent change.
$360.
That is correct.
Is this a PJ Coffee size Lego set?
I think
it looks quite. It looks pretty big.
It is,
Okay.
It's
that's not the face of someone who's not getting value for money.
Do you know what? I'm not so much interested in the whole set, but I do like the little Lego beholder and the little Lego gelatinous cube and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind just those bits rather than the entire set.
Well, it's coming out April 4th. Is when it will be available for you to purchase.
Yeah.
Should you
wish.
So
it's called Dragon's Keep Journey's End, and it's got 3,745 pieces, which has like a tower and a tavern with a removable roof and various minifigures and stuff like that, and a red dragon which perches on top of the tower.
I have to say, by the way, right, whilst I think they look very cool, and maybe that's reason enough to do it, every set I've seen of Dungeons and Dragons minis has a Displacer Beast in it, right? I have, in all my years, including 3rd edition and everywhere else, I have never seen a Displacer Beast. Not just in there as well, but I've never had one
in an adventure where its lair, because it levitates, I decided why would its lair be horizontal necessarily?
Are you thinking of Beholders, Russ? Or Displacer Beasts? Which is what I was talking about.
Did you say Displacer Beasts?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. You're probably thinking Beholders because they're very
I was
iconic.
thinking Beholders, yes.
And they're very
I was looking at a
cool.
picture of a Beholder as well, yeah.
But you know what?
Okay, fair
Beholders
enough.
are awesome. Like, I can absolutely see why you'd want one. But why Displacer Beasts? Because, like...
Is it because
There's
they're one of those...
in the D&D movie as well.
They're one of those IP beasts.
Yeah, so there's like a handful of monsters that
can't.
are D&D IP, pure D&D IP, which third parties can't use because they're completely original to D&B, unlike most of the monsters, which are like D&B. Yeah?
We'll only accept Jungle as an answer.
Yeah.
Sorry. Please continue. Apologies to our American listeners. This was a music joke. Unusual for me.
I didn't get it either, to be fair. But still. Yeah, but I think basically they want to push the monsters and the IP that are theirs.
That makes
like
sense.
a Hydra or a Medusa or something like that it's not really theirs, is it?
Anyone can do that.
Yeah. So there's that handful of beasts that are literally just theirs, and you know, so I get why you keep seeing those popping up and stuff. That's why I think.
Yeah.
Ever wanted any D&D trainers?
Did
you ever look at your
trainers? Trainers, Russ. You can't just say trainers for this news piece.
Well, they are trainers.
Oh, are this like some sort of
Converse? And fans of Converse will be shocked
American,
and aghast.
They're sneakers, but they're trainers. And if you've ever looked at your trainers and thought they aren't D&D enough, now is the time to solve that problem.
Indeed.
If you are one of those people who despairs about the lack of D&D on their trainers.
I feel I need to see a picture of these.
Okay.
Yeah, we have such a thing.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Converse releasing limited edition Dungeons and Dragons sneakers.
Yes.
But that is the news item. So Converse in April, specifically on April 11th, on their website, on the Converse website, they've got 4 of their Converse sneakers with like D&D themes, and it's all...
What?
And a hat.
And they're not just a hat, they've got baseball caps, t-shirts, shorts, sweaters, and more.
You want a hat that says, beware your dungeon master on it.
Your dungeon master is smiling.
Yeah, beware, your dungeon master is smiling. I don't need that because I feel I have an aura about myself when I'm running games that gives off that vibe without needing to write it down myself.
Yeah. And Jess does run a good game. So,
Thank you, BJ.
Be aware.
I'll give you that $5. I'll give you that $5 later.
That's cheap. I have to pay a tenner.
Yeah.
you have to get what's saying.
Capitalism, free market, Russ, deal with it. But back to Converse. So the collection's got designs from Advanced Dungeons & Dragons First Edition, and it's there because it's meant to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Dungeons & Dragons. So that's why it's got the First Edition.
I mean, coming up this year, there's going to be so much of this stuff. We're going to turn into the D&D branding podcast at some point. I
know we will.
Because we'll just be talking about all the D&D coffees and foodstuffs and lunchboxes and
but there's going to be stuff. But this week, just Converse and Lego is what we're announcing.
Yes,
but
I think an opportunity to go just way out on left field. So I am aware that there is an overlap, small but there, between people who enjoy role-playing games and people who enjoy gardening.
Okay.
Okay.
And you look at me going, I came across a book at the weekend. It is called The Multiversal Guardian. It's available on itch.io from LP Mills Sealight Studios. I picked up a hard copy because it's basically a book full of weird plants that don't exist and ways to incorporate them into a game.
Yes.
And I'm like, I love this so much.
I remember you telling me about this. This does look very cool. Yeah, so the book has 24 unique flora and fungi from the highest mountain of the material plane to the cold depths of space. I'm seeing a picture of a root vegetable with a face and a mustache on it, so I'm already interested.
Well, there you go.
It's like $5 to download as well, so...
Are we talking like Mr. Potato Head here?
No.
I mean, no, the link, PJ's put it in the Zoom...
Show notes.
Show notes.
Yeah,
it's in the show notes.
Well, it'll be in the show notes eventually.
It'll be in the show notes.
This is in the chat.
But yeah.
Oh, it's a turnip. It's a turnip, not a potato. I see, yeah, okay.
It's not a potato, no, it's a turnip.
And
Another
it's
type
got no
of
arms
root
left, so it
vegetable.
can't be Miss Potato.
Yeah.
I feel you're doing the weirdness of this delightful little gardening book a disservice. It's very cool. And what? I would never have thought of that, but that is kind of a great idea. Which, that's the sort of book I'm in the market for. I'd never thought of it, but I like it.
There is a huge overlap of people that are interested in tabletop games and people that are interested in mushrooms and fungus things. I like to think that I'm a fun guy.
That sentence in such fashion. The overlap between people who are interested in D&D and mushrooms and other things is great. Don't mind me. Let's move on.
Okay. Do you want to talk about something that's not Dungeons and Dragons and something is about tabletop?
I've still got some Dungeons and Dragons stuff.
Oh, Lord. Okay, let's get through this. What else, Russ? What else is Hasbro? What are the Magicians by the Seaside doing now?
This is from last week when we weren't here.
Okay.
But this is... So, HeroClix?
I have heard of that. Yes.
Bizarrely, because Wizard of the Coast and WizKids work together a lot on miniatures and things.
Yeah.
And WizKids make HeroClix. You would have thought that there would be a D&D HeroClix game by now. But as yet, there has not been. Until now.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It's a Beholder and its power card. 2 3D objects on bases. One is a treasure pile with a chest, and one is a treasure pile with a satchel. And they're cards, and there's a map and a D20. And you can pick those up later this year, Q4, for $25.
I assume if you play HeroClix,
I've never played HeroClix, but I do have a number of HeroClix miniatures just because I like the miniatures and thought I could use them in my games.
And they do a lot of DC heroes and so forth.
Yes. Well. Yeah, so I've got a bunch of those as well, and Star Wars ones and stuff as well.
For Star Wars games and such.
Charming. Yeah, that's how good.
There we go. Now I think that's it for the D&D news.
Good. Yeah. Let's talk about something else.
I think we finally run out. Yeah. Finally run it. Hey guys! I have a new quest for us.
Oh, thank goodness. I've had to resort to pickpocketing the town guard for entertainment.
Oh, indeed. It has been far too long since we went on a real adventure. Pray, tell us, good warrior, what is the nature of this quest?
Oh, you'll enjoy this one. It's a good old-fashioned monster hunt.
Oh, do not tell me we're clearing rats out the cellar again.
Although the rats do need clearing out of the cellar.
No. I'm talking about a real monster. Have you ever heard of the lesser spotted purple dragon?
The lesser spotted purple dragon? Oh, indeed, a fearsome beast.
It's not that fearsome. It's only the lesser spotted purple dragon.
What do you mean, only the lesser spotted purple dragon?
Well, It's not as scary as a regular spotted purple dragon, is it? It is, by definition, lesser.
What? No, that's not what lesser means.
What do you mean? Of course it does. It's a pretty common word.
No. The lesser doesn't refer to its capabilities. It refers to the number of spots.
What on earth are you talking about?
It's lesser spotted, so it has less spots.
Don't be silly. That would be fewer spotted. Besides, who would classify dragons by the number of spots it has?
Yeah, that's just daft. You may as well just classify them by their colour.
We do classify them by their colour. You know, red, green, silver, lilac, tartan, purple, puce.
Okay, fair point. But anyway, I can assure you that the lesser spotted purple dragon isn't named so because it is in fact lesser, or that it has fewer spots.
Really? Pray tell us, my roguish friend, why is it called the lesser spotted purple dragon?
Well, it's because it's seen less often, of course. It's lesser spotted.
Wouldn't that be less frequently spotted?
A bit of a mouthful.
Look, you're both talking patent rubbish. It's simply a weaker version of the regular purple dragon. You know, like the lesser spotted woodpecker and the greater spotted woodpecker.
But there isn't a greater spotted purple dragon, is there?
That we know of.
Okay, but if there is a greater spotted purple dragon, which we haven't seen, surely that is, in fact, a lesser spotted purple dragon on account of being spotted less?
But there is no greater spotted purple dragon.
Or maybe it's a lesser spotted greater purple dragon.
Yes. A larger purple dragon, which is rarely seen. That does make sense.
But what if it also has less spots?
Yeah, well, I suppose then it's a, lesser spotted, fewer spotted, greater spotted purple dragon.
And if its spots are larger?
A lesser spotted, fewer spotted, greater spotted purple dragon?
You said greater spotted twice.
Oh, no. The first time I said greater spotted, and the second time I said greater spotted.
What nonsense are you babbling now?
Well, the first time there was a dash between greater and spotted. Greater spotted, like bigger spots. And the second time there was not. So greater, pause, spotted purple dragon.
Can't we just say, larger spotted?
Oh, you mean like a lesser spotted, fewer spotted, larger spotted, greater spotted purple dragon?
Yeah, that's better. It's much clearer.
But there is no greater spotted purple dragon, let alone a lesser spotted one.
Look. Let's focus on the task at hand, shall we? We're hunting a lesser spotted purple dragon.
But we don't know if it's weaker, rarer, has fewer spots, or smaller spots.
Yeah, so how will we recognise it?
Good point. We won't want to go there and accidentally slay the wrong purple dragon.
Yeah, I mean, if we were to slay a greater spotted purple dragon by mistake... Ugh.
Or worse, a fewer spotted purple dragon.
You know what? I give up. Forget the stupid quest. Let's just go clear the rats out of the cellar instead.
Oh, fine by me.
Works for me. I'll barbecue them with my fireball.
Last time you did that, you burned the inn down.
Never mind. Let's go. We can be done before dinner if we start now.
Well, I just have one question.
What is it?
So, are these lesser spotted cellar rats?
Oh, of course, they're very common around here.
How can they be common when they're seen so rarely?
No. Lesser spotted rats aren't seen less rarely. They're simpler, the smaller versions of the regular spotted rats.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Of course they're not. They have fewer spots than regular spotted rats.
Then why isn't there a greater spotted rat?
Well, maybe there is, but we see it less often.
Oh, but then it would be a lesser spotted rat.
A lesser spotted, greater spotted rat.
Malak the Maleficent here. If, like me, you're enjoying this podcast, please consider subscribing on Patreon for exclusive bonus content every week and the warm, fuzzy feeling of knowing you are helping to keep the show going. Subscribe at patreon.com/Morrus. There, I said it. Can you stop staring at me like that now? The things I do. All right. Don't forget. Patreon.com/Morrus. Can I go now?
I do have a couple of small options. Oh, yes.
No, you go ahead, PJ, first.
Well, one is just to remind people that Owen Casey Stevens is still fighting cancer. So there's a GoFundMe going.
Yeah.
It's currently raised almost $61,000 of $150,000 goal.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, people have been very supportive and been working out, but it's been hard for him. And this is a guy that's done so much stuff for so many properties.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just really incredible how many things he's been working on. So definitely, he's still like posting away on Blue Sky. So
yeah. He's on social media posting away, and
I think he has a Patreon account as well. So
yeah.
So,
and there are some charity products that have been released for him, which we can stick in the show notes. Links to those in the show notes that you can pick up, and the funds go to.
There have been some huge compilations.
Yeah.
So plenty of ways to support.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Good mention.
Indeed.
Yeah, sorry, Jess.
Right then, anyway, Jess, you were going to say...
I was going to talk about Dragonbane, because there's a new bestiary, a book of monsters and things.
Yes.
Ow, just hit myself in the head with it. It's very solid, I can confirm. But
that's a big boy there.
It is. It's got a lot in.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's really cool. I mean, on EM World, if you prefer to read your reviews, Rob Wyland has done a full review on EM World. But I had a little flick through, so I thought I could share my thoughts with you about it as well.
There is a very important question that I have to ask. But technically, it's two questions, and the second is contingent on the first. But Jessica, do you have somewhere to hand some kitchen scales?
I do not. Do you want to know the weight of this tome?
I would love to know the weight of this tome.
I can't tell you. I'd imagine it's less than 2 pounds. I can tell you that much.
Okay. It weighs less than a kilo. Okay.
Yeah. That would be my guess.
I mean, does it weigh more or less than your dog, for example?
It weighs a lot less than my dog. My poor dog
has
been
weigh
weighed
more or less than a duck? That's the question we're really
A duck?
after. Yeah.
What breed of duck?
Have you ever held a duck?
Yeah, my mum has
A whole
ducks.
duck. Oh, okay.
Okay. So
They're
what
not
breed
nice
duck?
creatures, just in case anyone doesn't know.
Oh,
They're really
ducks.
violent, and it's really unnecessary. But anyway,
that's all 100% fact. We're not going to talk about it.
I'd say it weighs less than a
100%.
duck. But anyway,
Okay.
I can tell you about the
Okay,
contents
there
of
we
this
go.
book.
So Russ, is it a witch? Is what I need to know. Sorry,
Yes.
I withdraw that question. It's it's practicing. It's on my affair. Jessica, tell me more about the book because it looks cool.
I can and I will. So obviously it's for Dragonbane, and it's got a preface written by Theodora Sneezewort, who is meant to be the person who's written this tome and sharing it with you. I love her. First of all, for her name and the way she writes. She is just a very cool, halfling, a curious halfling that goes around documenting things. And Theodora Sneezewort, and she signs her name Theodora Sneezewort, one of a kind. So I love her.
So anyway, you feel you can relate heavily to halflings that go around documenting things.
I mean, I would like to. I would aspire to be such a thing. But anyway, the book is into several chapters. The first 2 is Nightkin and Rarekin, which gives you more player options. So these can be things you fight, NPCs or player kin. They call races kin in this. So there's things like cat people, centaurs, fairies, harpies, mermaids, minotaurs, as well as your goblins, orcs and ogres and things like that as well. So that's there. So it gives you more player options if you're playing Dragonbane, which is nice. And then the rest of the chapters are kind of done into monsters and things you can fight, like insectoids, trolls, giants, beasts, undead, dragons, and demons. So there's a lot of stuff in here. And what's really nice about it is it does obviously have the stats for Dragonbane, but it has sections with some lore, information about a random encounter, so you could drop that into your game, and also an adventure seed. So if you wanted to build a little adventure and seed it in, which is really nice, which looking through it at a glance, I thought if you wanted one of these monsters to put in a different system, you could use the random encounter and adventure seed to kind of port that in a way. And it's got really nice artwork in it as well. So, and it's very well laid out. So yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah,
I haven't had the chance to play Dragonbane yet. I have the starter set and it's on my to-run list. But this book looks really nice. As if you're running Dragonbane, I think it's definitely a really good thing to have.
What system is it? Is it his own system?
Yeah, it's his own thing.
Yeah.
So it's by Free League, so it's very pretty as well. But yeah, it's got its own...
It's a Dragonbane system.
I just wonder if it used their Year Zero system or not.
The dice I have is still in the packaging for it. So this was like... It was really popular in Sweden, and it was the replacement game for D&D in like the 80s and 90s. It was the most popular game that people played. So Free League reprinted and rebrought it back. I haven't had the chance to play it through yet. It's got a lot of similarities to D&D in many ways. So it's not, if you're used to playing D&D, it's not going to be a terrifying leap to a new system. But it is different. But I haven't had the chance to run it yet, so I'm holding back. But I believe we do have a review of it on EM World. I believe. Yeah.
Rob Wyland's written one.
Yeah. So read that for more in depth. But overall, I think it's a really nice book. And those are my thoughts.
Really? Hey, you know what happened in the last couple of weeks? The playtest for Daggerheart.
Yes.
Critical Role's new RPG was released.
A lot of people on the internet have opinions about it.
It's dividing opinions, isn't it?
Yes.
It's being divisive.
Yes.
It is being divisive is what it's being. I myself have not actually had time to delve into it, so I can't offer you my opinion on it.
I was hoping you had.
So all I can say is it has been divisive.
I mean, I thought D&D Shorts on YouTube did a fairly good review.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like they were pushing too heavily in either direction, just reporting on the merits.
I think the things that I've seen are mainly, if you're a Critical Role fan, you probably know D&D fairly well, because that's the biggest game. That's the game that they mainly have played over the last sort of God knows how many years. So that's probably a game that you're pretty familiar with. If you've been following Critical Role,
you're definitely familiar with like the setting of Exandria and so forth. Like Matt Mercer's Critical Role. And like some of the names.
So if I mean, this isn't obviously going to be everyone that listens to Critical Role, but some of the criticisms that I sort of like run across on Twitter. And seen, I kind of got the sense, and I wouldn't say for sure that's what it is, but it's people who are therefore coming from D&D because of the link with Critical Role, and looking at this, and because this does make some departures, sort of, it's not, it's by in no means a storytelling narrative game. Really.
It's a 400-page,
but it has nods towards it. But it has nods towards it. Things like the initiative system apparently. There's no set initiative system. It's like when the GM feels like narratively the right person should go and things like that.
Well, it's more that okay, when you take an action, then that's giving an action to the monster team, as it were. So a specific example called out in the review was if you have a monster that is basically immune to physical damage or highly resistant rather than immune, but like if you are the physical damage dealer, you take a turn, then actually it's worse because not only doing very little damage, if you deal damage at all, which you might not pass the damage threshold to do so, but then you're also giving your opposition another go, which is kind of a problem when like the option to just do nothing, I sort of respect intellectually, but for me, I would find that quite antithetical to making game go through.
But this is a playtest, though. It's designed to get feedback.
They've got a lot of very interesting ideas.
And I bet a lot of them they're just trialing, and some of them are a little more out there, and they're like, well, let's trial this in the playtest, see what happens.
Absolutely.
Like modular things like using cards for abilities. I certainly would be a big fan if Level Up went into a cards for abilities, because that would solve a lot of problems around heritage gifts, and communicating that you can mix and match this stuff, and it's great.
I mean, cards for abilities is, it's like, it's not a new idea or anything.
No, it's like straight out board games playbook. But honestly, I feel
D&D 4th edition was that,
I mean, like, I was looking at the Chaosium starter sets at the weekend, because they were kind enough to show me them. And they're like folio character sheets, very accessible. Rules for, it's not just the Pendragon starter set that's got like rules for a single player campaign. All of their sets they're working on single player campaigns, help teach the rules, and having rules on cards, that is a very natural extension. That's a very good way to help learn board games. So like, if it's good to teach one complex rule system,
Yeah.
I think it's worth trying to teach another complex rule system.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how well this one does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got on itself a lot of talk.
Well,
Yeah.
of course.
Like people...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
a huge
for
body
the
of
moment.
fans. Yeah.
For the moment, it's it's being talked about a lot. Whether that will stick or not, I don't know. But
Yeah. I mean,
if anyone can sort of create a game that becomes popular and lasting, I think the Critical Role people, have the base to do that.
I certainly think if they switch their game to running with this Daggerheart system, then a lot of people will.
I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to do both.
Yeah.
Maybe in parallel,
they're going to have a Daggerheart game on a different day with a different group. I think is what you're going to see happening.
Okay.
I think if anything, I haven't read through it, so I can't comment on it. But I like the idea that there is something mainstream happening that is getting a lot of people that have only historically played D&D to look at other systems, if only to introduce concepts from other games. Because I think the game does reference other inspirations. So maybe someone will read this and be like, oh, I don't like this game overall, maybe, for whatever reason. But they're like, but I like the idea of zones of combat instead of, what they do in D&D. Or I like the idea of this and this. And maybe there's a game that does that, and maybe that's more for me. So I like the opportunity to step away from D&D. Said the host of the Not D&D podcast.
Has opposed dice. It's using a D12 system. So it's sort of the difference between your hope and fear is sort of your success or whether you crit or not. And it's very much like Feng Shui, which uses D6. It's also an excellent game.
But I think it's just it shows people that, maybe have only followed D&D because that's the one that Critical Role were playing, that other games do exist.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably knew that other games do exist, but they hadn't been exposed to them.
Sometimes,
and so
you need a nudge to try. I know a friend of mine who really loves D&D, big Critical Role fan. They've started running Candela Obscura a lot now and are really loving that. And, whilst they've often played other games and things, they've become really passionate about it, and that's what they enjoy running. And I think that's got a big part of it, and I really like to see that.
Yeah, I think it just gives a little bit of not legitimacy, because of course other games are legitimate. That's definitely the wrong word.
But I know what you mean.
Just a little bit of something to other games other than D.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but
airtime, promotion, uplifting, gravitas, exposure.
They've almost given their blessing to another system.
Yeah.
And given the blessing to the concept of looking outside of.
Because we were at your club on Wednesday night, Peter, and I just did a count just for curiosity's sake. So there were 27 people there, I think, and 24 of them were playing D&D or a variation of it, and 3 of us were playing a game that wasn't.
Yeah.
And it's just all right, they weren't all Wizard of the Coast D&D. One of the tables was Level Up, one of the tables was Pathfinder, but it's still in that kind of direction.
Yeah.
But it's skewed, yeah.
Yeah.
I've decided all I can do to try and bang the drum for indie games is talk about them a lot on platforms I have and run them. That's the main thing, because I think if you're somebody that's wants that, you have to put yourself out there and run games and be a GM and be like, hey, I'm going to run this, come play this. And a lot of the time, a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, I'll come try that out. So
I'm always very happy to talk to people and recommend different games to them. It's just a matter of finding out what's the right game for them and what they want to do.
I always thought would be very useful is if someone built an online kind of questionnaire type thing, which determined a game, and it had every single game in it. Obviously, this is probably a logistical
yeah,
impossibility.
I'm just listening to you now.
Every single role-playing game was in the system, and it was and you answered a load of questions, and it narrowed it down.
The data behind that,
and worked out which games you might like the most.
I mean,
and it would spew out 2 or 3 games that you've never heard of, which basically fit the criteria of the things that you say you like.
I think sometimes with games as well, I think sometimes people don't know what they like, because if you haven't tried things, it's hard to say. Because if you've only ever played D&D and you want to try something new, if people are like, are you interested in D6 dice pools? You'd be like, I don't know.
No,
I don't know because I've not tried. I think sometimes it's getting out there, trying loads of stuff, and you learn what you like. Because it's like saying what different. If you've only ever had ham sandwiches your whole life, and people are like, what other foods do you like? You're like, I have no context. You just have to go out and try them.
Well, we should all have to wait and see what happens with Daggerheart. Maybe it'll just go. You got D&D and Daggerheart now. as one of the main systems that people say, I want to play it, and then they never show up at the club to play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be that big. I don't think it'll be as big as Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think it'll be bigger than...
Yeah, it'll be big.
Bigger than the Beatles.
It is the 10th anniversary of Cats of Cthulhu. Did you know this?
I did not.
Not.
Well, now you know. And on that's their Kickstarter, there is a 10th anniversary edition.
Is this
you
about
can get.
cats which wish to ascend to become elder gods, or cats that worship Cthulhu? Because I feel the first is more likely. I feel that cats would be more likely to be like, excuse you, I am the god, you will worship me.
Yes, most probably. But in this particular one,
wrong.
you are a cat and you are secretly defending humanity, apparently. So it's not that.
That's a very well-kept secret, then.
A cat investigator. Yeah. I mean, I'm actually reading a book about a magic cat investigator at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So
sounds.
I was a cat in a game the other day.
Yeah.
I was a cat called Cat.
Yeah, you hang around with a with
a hair called Trigger.
I think it might have been a bit of a gun bunny. Hooray!
Yeah. That was a fun little game. Yeah. Anyway,
you got killed in that one, didn't you?
TPK. Yes.
TPK.
Yeah.
Total Party Kitty.
Exactly.
Total Party Kitty. Yeah. That's what it stands for. Yeah.
Abundance increasing. I read an interesting article. You recall, like a couple of years back, Kickstarter said, yeah, we're going to go to blockchain, and it's going to be awesome. And
then they backed down.
And the entire tabletop RPG industry pretty much were like,
no.
What? No, this is a terrible plan. Why would you do such a thing? Anyway.
And not just the tabletop RPG industry, Kickstarter. Yeah. You kind of forget that Kickstarter isn't just tabletop RPGs.
It's not the place where I go and ask and beg for money. It's a general place. No, there was an article, I put it in the chat, for Fortune, by Fortune, which is a business magazine. Because I've got to say, Russ, it does blow my mind that we have on the regular business publications writing, like Forbes, FT, Fortune, writing about this hobby. Essentially, Kickstarter invested in such a thing because there was a $100 million investment into Kickstarter by we'll call it a Web 3.0 company and venture capitalists.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotta be honest, there's a lot of there's a lot of financial gubbins in it, but it's a massive check for Kickstarter, but it was not out of the ordinary for A16Z Crypto.
Is that the name of the company?
Yes, the name of the company that invested in Kickstarter was A16Z, as far as I can make out.
Wow,
there's no capitals in there.
Catchy.
Is that one of Elon Musk's kids or something?
Damn. Jessica's getting hard today.
Why are you booing me? I'm right.
Yes, anyway. Maybe, probably not, because Musk would probably talk this one. Yeah. It's like they offered the money, Kickstarter said, hey, we'll go for blockchain.
Okay.
And that definitely has been a thing. There's still talk, and then there's a lot of talk about the internal struggles of Kickstarter, which started in 2012, but has had competition grow up. I don't think the pivot to blockchain and the pivot back has done it very much in the way of favours. What's going to happen? Don't know. But I saw it and thought it might be of interest to people to explain, because it never the use case for a blockchain at Kickstarter was never obvious to me. Like they don't do with the sort of things that, to my very limited understanding, blockchain is meant to cover. So why they do it, apart from shiny, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Except maybe we can. That's what Fortune says anyway.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know what to say about that, really.
I don't.
Weird. What? Why?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Money's nice.
Yeah.
That is a thing that happens. Thank you for sharing, is all I have to say.
Yeah.
Do we have any other news?
I think we may have run out of news. So I think that is the end of the show for this week, and I am now off to see one or more Ghostbusters before having a curry.
That sounds very good. I'm going to play Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing tonight, and then Dungeons & Dragons tomorrow.
As I'm going to go for a walk and finish off the blog entry.
Okay. Sounds very productive.
And read a good book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
See you next week.
Well, we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye up.
Apparently, I now have to read this to you. This is the official podcast of Morrus's unofficial tabletop RPG news, which you can find at enworld.org. You can find show notes at morrus.podbean.com or wherever you found the podcast. If you feel like they deserve it, you can support the show on Patreon. In return, you will receive exclusive bonus content. Just go to patreon.com/Morrus. If you're interested in his babbling nonsense, you can follow at Morrus on the Twitter. Send your emails to morruspodcast@gmail.com. Not all of your emails, just the ones you want us to see. That's it. I'm bored now. You can go away. Shoo, off you go. Goodbye. Get out of here.
Right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Yes, hell yeah, let's go. Come on.
Oh, okay. I'm going to do a slight variation. I'm going to do a Yorkshire variation in my intro this week.
Oh, is that a good
Why would you do
idea?
this, Russell?
Is that a smart choice?
Yes, it's an excellent choice. Are we ready?
Danger, Will Robson.